We welcome you to our Carbon County Board of Commissioners meeting. It's October 16th, 2019. Would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item on our agenda tonight is the minutes from our last meeting.
Commissioners, I submitted some corrections to Lori, and I believe she emailed those out. Are there any other corrections besides those?
I did not see any, no.
I don't have any either.
If not, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Second item tonight is the we're going to keep that tabled. Christian did not review them yet that we're aware of. Did he?
We did get his corrections back today, but if you're not ready for that,
If he's corrected them.
If he's corrected them, I think it's okay to approve them. So that was for what meeting?
September 18th.
Let's see, those, were those part of the email as well?
It was
Or separate?
the email that Shelley sent to me.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
I didn't either.
Commissioners, he left me a note that said that the minutes can be approved, making those changes.
Okay. So he's made some changes.
I'll go ahead and make a motion then to accept those minutes from the September 18th meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, item 2 now on the agenda is Miss Carbon County's Outstanding Teen, Skylyn Basso, and Miss Carbon County Lily Vigil. Come on up.
So Lily Vihill's not here yet.
She
but-
just showed up.
Perfect.
You can stall for a minute. Stuart's cute, he doesn't wear a tiara, so.
Sorry, I didn't take a chemistry test. I'm sorry.
Well, that's more important than us, so that's good you stayed.
All right. It's good. Okay.
All right.
Hi, I'm Lily Vihill. I represent our great community as Miss Carbon County 2020.
And I'm Skylyn Basso, representing Carbon County as Miss Carbon County's Outstanding Teen 2020.
The Miss Carbon County organization has served our community for over 60 years. We are a branch of the Miss America and Miss America's Outstanding Teen Scholarship organizations. And we do not wear this crown because it is beautiful, but because it stands for something.
You will notice the 4 points on our crown. They stand for style, scholarship, service, and success. Our organization offers personal and professional opportunities for young women in our community to share their talents and be involved with their community, continuing their education and promoting their service through platform. My platform I have chosen is called #MackenzieStrong, and I'm bringing awareness to chronic illnesses. Mackenzie Zaray suffers from multiple chronic illnesses, and it's very sad, and it debilitates her day-to-day life. So we had the Mud Run this September, and I would like to thank all of our participants and sponsors for that, for helping raising funds for her. And I want to continue this by helping reach out to schools and through our community and helping them understand what chronic illness is and helping them with that.
My social impact initiative is called the Second Chance Movement, and it's on opioid epidemic awareness. Here in Carbon County, we are facing a very severe issue, and I plan to bring awareness to that by being an advocate for those struggling and for hopefully making a lunch and learn to teach those in our community how to use and what is Narcan, which is the substance that can reverse an overdose. And I would like to look more into seeking more help for our community.
So the Carbon Commissioners and community have been very supportive to the Miss Carbon County and Miss Carbon County's Outstanding Teen organization. And I will be representing, we would like to ask again for financial assistance for this amazing organization, as I will be representing Carbon County's Miss Carbon County's Outstanding Teen at Miss Utah's Outstanding Teen, and Lily will be representing Carbon County at the Miss Utah's pageant.
We have begun preparations and have worked very hard to be prepared for this amazing opportunity. The state competition entrance fee for Miss Utah's Outstanding Teen competition for Skylin is $400 per contestant. And in order for me to participate in the Miss Utah competition, the entrance fee for me at Miss Utah is $1,815 per contestant. As you can see, the breakdown of costs on the shared invoices. We would like to ask for any support that can be given to help us accomplish our goals and represent our community well at the state level.
Yes. We would also like to ask for your support for our scholarship fund. All of our royalty scholarships are based on donations from our community. We hope to raise as much as we can in order to offer as much college assistance for our royalty members. Any amount would be greatly appreciated for our organization and royalty. By giving a scholarship fund to this annual event, you will be supporting the Miss Carbon County organization and helping us to provide scholarships for these young women who put their heart and soul into promoting service through their community.
We believe that this organization does so much for our county, and the young women in our community will benefit greatly from the CAST scholarships awarded to continue their education. The scholarships you donate will go towards our next year's royalty members who will be crowned in August of 2020. We hope that we can count on you to help support our young women of Carbon County.
We would like to thank you for your time and supporting our community, and please contact us with any events or projects we can help you assist with.
Thank you very much for your presentations tonight. Casey, you remember last year what we...
Well, I didn't remember, but I did go down and visit with the clerk's office. Last year, we approved for this budget year $1,500 for Miss Carbon County and $400 for Miss Outstanding Teen. But they came at the beginning of this year, so we asked them to come prior to our budgeting process, and I believe that's why you're here.
Yes.
is to get into the budgeting process. So that's what's before us. Typically, it's been about $1,500. In 2017, it was $1,000. 2018 and 19, it was bumped up to $1,500.
So this event that you're going to, will it be this year or the first part of next year?
It is next year, yes.
Okay.
Mine is in February and hers is in June.
Okay. So we have to look at the budget numbers of what we're currently doing, and then just basically come up with an amount that would hopefully support your events, both of your events. That's why you guys are here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Do you guys have any other questions for us that you'd like us to talk about?
Well, I guess you could perform for us, kind of like how you guys won. We won't put you on the spot.
Next time.
Okay.
Okay.
No, we really appreciate you.
Thank you guys so much for everything.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Thank you. We'll try to plug numbers in for 2020.
Right.
Looks like we've already got some plugged in for this year, and we're right in the middle of putting all those numbers together. So we'll try to help you out.
We really appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for representing us.
Absolutely.
Thank-
Item 3 on our agenda is a presentation and consideration of sponsorship to the county seat. Chad Booth.
Gentlemen,
Good.
I come bearing gifts. They're under $10, so you don't have to report them. Okay. This one is for you. I'll give it to you after, and then just in case I have to refer. Hi, folks. Good Washington County seat. I want to take a few minutes to talk to you today about the county seat. There have been some of the counties who have been a little bit concerned about what value there is in it. Commissioners who were involved in county government prior to us starting 9 years ago have a very different perspective about county seat and how important it has been for counties to get the message out. And we believe that we have successfully done that, but there are some questions of saying, well, why are only 80,000 people watching the show every week? It seems like we're spending money on advertising, and there's 3 million people in the state. Is it really doing any good? So I wanted to address that for a minute and try and put it into the proper perspective, and then leave you, as you have in your packets, information about sponsorship. County Seat was never designed to be Survivor or The Masked Musician or The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. We could make a show like that, but for it to be highly watched, it would have to be about all the unsavory things that happen within county government to get people in the general stream of population to talk about it. So things would happen and shift, and focus would be in 1, 2, and 3.5 minute segments. Nothing would ever get talked about other than gossip, because that's what people like to watch in general. However, of those 80 to 84,000 people that do watch this show regularly, and while it's not a big audience, I will have to tell you, it's seen everywhere. If I'm at the General Mercantile in Grouse Creek, the owner of that establishment has talked to me about how valuable the show is, and he said, we're out here in the edge of the world, and this is our connection, and we find it extremely important. If I'm in Montezuma Creek, I get the same kind of response. If I'm in Enterprise or East Carbon, somewhere in those communities, almost invariably, I have people comment about the county seat. So I've got a first-hand knowledge. I realize that it's anecdotal, but I was even making a presentation to Salt Lake County yesterday in their commission meeting or their council meeting, and just prior to the meeting starting, just before I went up to talk, here comes a lady trotting down the stairs, bends over at my chair and says, I really like your show. I said, could you stand up and say that a little louder for the county council? But what we have accomplished, and what's important to note, is that the people who are watching this show are the people that move conversations in communities. You know the people that watch this show. I'm sure some of them have talked to you before, and they're people that are engaged. They're people that support and move commerce, and they move thought in the communities. And we think it's important to get the conversations of county government. As Senator Daniel Thatcher once said about our program, he said, you cannot debate public lands on a bumper sticker. You've got to have a long-form conversation. So a couple of facts. If you were to take county seat, we have 22 minutes and 30 seconds of conversation on a single topic each week. They all deal with county government and the relevance to county government. And while every one of them may not be Carbon County centric, the issues that affect Sevier County affect you. Centrally assessed taxes is a problem in Tooele. I'm sure it's a problem here. It's a problem in Sevier County. It's a problem in San Juan County. Those are the kind of issues that we take the time to talk about, create a conversation on, and put out on the air. And hopefully, and I say this hopefully because there are only 2 counties currently that have a county seat link on their homepage. And it's very easy to do, and if your IT people want to do it, there's a 10-year history of county government and its evolution that is available at a moment's notice to anybody, because every single one of our programs over the span of 9 years is out on YouTube, it's on our channel, it's on our website, it's well distributed, it's re-aired on many of Utah's cable access channels. I do need to go talk to your guys again. The conversation that happens out of this, if you were to try and translate that, it would take 4 different visits on the radio program, because if you look at what Paul does at KOAL, his conversations are probably close to KNRS up in Salt Lake, the talk radio station there. Maybe they're 6 minutes. That's about all the time radio allows for conversation, at a stretch 8. We talk about one topic for 22 minutes. If you were to convert that into a full-size newspaper and transcribe an entire half hour, it would fill 6 pages. There's no other place that you can get a conversation about these really complex issues like jail funding, like centrally assessed taxes, as I go back to another one, about elections and problems with election registration. The conversation doesn't happen anywhere else, and that's why we're looking for support. And I'm hoping, understanding that Carbon County's been through some difficult times, I want you to please look at the numbers, because we've got to have a little bit more participation. I've included in this packet today our actual budget. There's some people that said I shouldn't have done that, but I wanted people to be able to look at it line item by line item and find out how efficient we try to be at things. I think you'll see that we cut it pretty close, probably as close as you guys do. At one point earlier this year, as we were looking at what to do going forward, I thought, well, county seat's important, but maybe we just shouldn't do it. Maybe Channel 4 should do it. They love our program. They've been very accommodating to us. They've bent over backwards to provide us time slots that, for people that are paying for programming, never get. We come right out of their news on 10 o'clock on Saturday nights, or 11, because I've got At Your Leisure first there. But we are sandwiched in with their Sunday morning news programming, and they treat us like they do George Stephanopoulos. We get a lot of street cred in that half hour of time on Sunday morning. They promote us on their website, and so they provide us a platform that people can count on. That's the one thing that other digital media and PR firms can't provide, is a reliable place that we have every single week for people to come and talk about and learn about county issues. So I asked Channel 4, I said, maybe you should take over the show. And they said, well, what's involved in it? So we sent over to them a kind of a checklist of what we have to get done to make a show. I said, could you make a bid for it? Maybe you should just take over the show. I'll go do something else. I won't really say much more about it other than I have a copy of their bid right here. And, you know, Senator Ralph Okerlund, who's just down the road a piece here, one of the first times that we did a promo piece about County Seat, we'd been in the show about 3 years, he was sitting at his desk and in an interview and said, what do you think about the County Seat? And he said, you know, I don't think people realize how important the show is. In my mind's eye, it's worth $1 million. He was wrong, because if you were to do this 52 weeks a year, Channel 4 would be looking for about $2 million, and we do it for just about a quarter of that. So we try to do it efficiently, but we just have to have a little bit better support. And hopefully you can find a way to include that in your budget. I did want to leave some time for some questions, but I think everything is in here. Obviously, there are other options. Please, when you read the last page about sponsorship, read the last sentence, because it does talk about other options other than what a full sponsor is. We are asking counties to help us. If you choose to move forward with the project this year and support County Seat, we would ask that you try and make that decision early, and so that we can count you among the ranks of the counties who are supporting it, so that we might pull others along that are on the fence. We've enjoyed working with Carbon County, and I believe that we have provided many programs that are relevant and important to rural counties. We are its only voice, and if you want this discussed on the Wasatch Front, so that ladies in Salt Lake County walk down to into their chamber and say, watch your program, that's the way we do it. Because the way ratings work, unless there's a mega train crash out here, there ain't gonna be nobody coming from Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 13, or Channel 2. But I'm out here all the time. Any questions?
I don't have any. I've reviewed your email to us carefully, so.
I appreciate what you do. I know for me, I use the County Seat as a tool. You have your stuff on the internet, and I refer people to that, for example, to see how taxation works, or to see different processes of county government. So
Well,
I do refer people to the website.
The River of Money episode, when you're trying to get that relationship between the assessor and the auditor and the treasurer, is a very valuable half hour of well-documented training for people so they can see how it works. And we really encourage you guys to, our position is that we produce some really good content on behalf of and for rural communities and rural counties in particular. We have support on the Wasatch Front, but really the power of this program is for counties like Carbon, for counties like Emery that do not have that voice. And we provide a big platform, but it could be so much bigger if you would be in the habit of putting this in your social media stream, even if you don't have time to watch it. There are people who are following you. You probably have Facebook pages or web pages or Twitter accounts, and simple links would help move this dialogue along. And I think you would find some remarkable results from it. Usually when I copy a county seed over into my own personal social media stream, and the 2,000 or 3,000 friends I have, I usually create some conversation, and as the one I posted this morning, a little bit of controversy. But anyway, I appreciate your taking the time, and I hope that you can be in support of the program so that we can move on to season 10 and have the issues of Carbon County front and center in our programming. And with that, I will take my leave and free up some extra time on your agenda. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Chad. Appreciate you.
Can I loiter for a minute? I just kind of want to hear what's going on.
Sure. Absolutely. Item 4, consideration and possible approval of a county credit card for the 4-H program coordinator, Delana Barr. Any questions or comments? There's nobody here.
No?
Oh, wait. Steve. Anybody have any questions for Steve?
I don't.
I don't. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve a credit card for Delana Barr.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Got it approved.
That was easy, hasn't it, Steve?
Thank you.
Yeah, just don't let her use it. Okay, item 5 is a consideration and possible approval of insurance renewal. Seth?
Yeah, me and Rose met with our broker a couple weeks ago and just presented with our renewal this year, or our proposed renewal. Most of our health insurance goes through PEHP. They're a large company. They do very well. We switched to them, I think 5 years ago, and they've actually been much better than our previous provider. So I'll just read you some numbers here as far as what our renewal consists of. If you have any questions, then we can go through those. Our dental renewal, our dental insurance is a 0%, though, so there's no increase there. It's also a 0% renewal on our vision and our life, so there's no increase. They'll be the same as 2019. Our medical renewal is an 8.5% increase. That's an increase of $142,507 year over year. It's important to note that our renewals with PHP have been really great in the past. In fact, I think 2 years ago we had a negative renewal, which means they reduced our rate. We've had several years where it was a 0%. We've just had a few medical visits, and which has increased our renewal. But it's also important to realize that an 8% renewal is very average. I mean, that's pretty normal for nowadays for any kind of type of medical renewal on a county. So, two other things: our short-term disability, we made a small change then, or suggested a slight change, which is we're moving to, or suggested moving to, a 13-week duration on our short-term disability, which is a little a few weeks shorter than what it previously was, which would save us $8,734 annually or year over year. And then our long-term disability, we suggested or looked at moving to a 90-day elimination, which is I think 10 days longer. Anyways, it's an increase of $2,429 year over year. So the total savings between those two would be $6,300 or $6,305, and then you would have the increase on the medical that I mentioned to you. So those are the numbers and kind of the explanation of them if you had any questions.
Any questions?
I don't have any questions.
I don't. I know we've kind of talked about the numbers and where we're heading, so I appreciate the explanation tonight.
Do we need an approval on this?
I think typically you did do a motion on this.
Motion to approve the insurance renewal.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 6 is a consideration and possible approval of violence against women grant application.
Commissioner, this is my item.
Can you turn your mic on? We can hear you.
Yes, this is my item, Commissioners. This is a grant that we've been doing. We're in our third year now. Well, this application will be for our third year. The last 2 years, I think we received $45,000 in federal funds the first year and about $52,000 last year. This next application, I'll be asking for $80,000 to $85,000, partly based on the number of cases we're seeing that are violence against women cases. These are cases that include domestic violence, stalking, violation of protective order, and sexual assault cases. And the funding goes to provide a portion of Dominique's salary and her benefits, as well as training associated with prosecuting those types of cases. Then with that training, we turn around and train the local law enforcement agencies on those specific areas. So we will be hoping to continue that effort along with, and like I said, some additional time based on the case numbers we're seeing. We're also going to add in a little bit of investigation time to hopefully provide some investigation assistance to the local agencies as well in some specialty areas and training associated with that. And so I just ask that you approve the application so we can move forward that way. And that is if you recall from years past, that's a 75-25 grant, 75% federal funding, 25% local match. The local match is money we're already spending for salary and benefits for the people in our office, and also supplies we're already paying for.
So we don't need to add any more to the budget, to your budget, to compensate for our match.
That's correct.
Okay. Any questions?
No, I think it's a good thing. I'll make a motion to approve the violence against women grant application.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 7 is review and possible approval of amendment to the interlocal cooperation and subservient contract agreement for Carbon County Senior Center. That's a mouthful.
Looks like Robbie's not here. I'm gonna have to recall the details of the. This was just a slight bump in our interlocal cooperation agreement for the senior center. So we'll be getting, and I can't remember the amount, but it was a little bit of a bump. It was emailed to us. It was one of those that was 60 pages long or something.
I think I have it here. It's the wrong one. This is the bump right here. 1537.
So the bump was $1,537.
Any other discussion or questions?
Slight.
Just a slight.
Costs more to print the document than we're going to get. Okay.
Exactly, so. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the amendment for the interlocal cooperation and subrecipient contract agreement for the Carbon County Senior Center.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 8 is a consideration and possible approval of a project application and grant agreement for state aid.
Rehabilitation project as well as part of the apron. We did part of it last year or 2 years ago, and then the other part of it will be done with this project. So this is just, this one as well as the next item on the agreement are both to do with that grant application to receive the federal funding to do the runway work.
And
Questions?
No questions, so I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the project application and grant agreement for the state aid for Carbon County Airport runway and apron rehabilitation.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And in item 9, we've already talked about it. Need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the cooperative agency agreement with the Aeronautical Operations Division of UDOT.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 10, consideration and possible approval of a bequest of real property from Deborah Western to Carbon County. Familiar with that? I think we just need that's a piece of property in East Carbon that the property owner owes back taxes, has no intent of paying them, and would like to just deed that property to the county. Any concerns, Jeremy?
No, and I spoke to Christian about that. Apparently she's already recorded the deed. It was just an acceptance by the county that we needed, so.
Okay.
I think she did that on her own, and then the county found out and asked that the commission review that and accept it, and he didn't express any concern.
Okay. So we need a motion to accept that.
I'll go ahead and make a motion then for the approval of the bequest of the real estate property from Deborah Western to Carbon County.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 11, consideration and possible adoption of ordinance number 523, amending a portion of the Carbon County zoning district map from R-1-8K to C-2, located near 700 East Riverside Drive, for Marcer Properties, Spencer Loveless. And this was presented to Planning and Zoning in their last meeting, and they've recommended that we consider approving this zone change for that piece of property for Spencer Loveless. And Spencer's here. Have any questions for Spencer?
I don't have any questions.
I'll entertain a motion to accept that amendment.
I'll make a motion to approve amending a portion of the Carbon County zoning map from R-1-8K to C-2.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Spencer. Good luck with your project over there. Item number 12, it's Rita Vigor has asked us to table that item. It was consideration and approval of a legal representation agreement with Smith Hartsvig. No, that we need to do this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So item 12 is consideration and approval of legal representation agreement with Smith Hartvigsen for preparation of documents necessary for creation and maintenance of a community reinvestment plan. and that's for the Graphite Solar Company who is wanting to put a solar farm north of Wellington. Any questions about that?
Maybe we should give just a brief explanation of where this is coming from. So the solar company came to us and wanted to create this project area in this calendar year because of the federal money that they would receive drops between this year and next year, so they'd like to get it done in this year. So in order to be able to keep that time frame, there are companies like Smith and Hartsvigsen that do this, and it can create the document timely. So they asked us to use them. It will be paid for by the solar company, so there's no out-of-pocket cost to the county, but they will be a contractor to the county. The payment will be made via the reinvestment area, as the increment will pay off the attorneys. Anything to add on that?
Yeah, I think with, just as you explained, the importance of this for the investor that's, what is this, $80 million to $100 million project, when they go for the incentives, if all the paperwork, if all the T's aren't crossed, the I's dotted, that will get rejected, it draws, and as it was explained, these guys are, I shouldn't maybe say this, but they're paid $1,500 an hour, so we don't want to give anybody any ideas over there, but they're high-paid attorneys, and it takes 3 or 4 of them to go through the paperwork for the incentive part. So this is a good gesture on their part to get this paperwork completed, done in a timely manner, and then also help to get this project started sooner.
Yeah, and the attorneys that we're considering hiring for this, they're not the ones that get $1,500 an hour. It's the guys in New York. In New York that have to approve the government incentives. So, okay. Any other questions? No. I'll entertain a motion then to approve that agreement.
I'll go ahead and make a motion then to approve the legal representation agreement with the Smith Harvickson for the preparation of the documents necessary for creation and maintenance of the community reinvestment plan.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 13 is a review and possible adoption of a resolution number 2019-05 designating the enterprise zone and recycling zone in the unincorporated areas of the county. And this is the item that Rita Vigor, our economic development specialist, is in need of reworking, and she is at a conference this week and asked that we table this and put it on the agenda for our next meeting.
Motion to table until next week, or until the next commission meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 14 is a public hearing to receive public comment on possible exchange of the old 7th District Court building and Detectives building with Southeastern Utah Health District building. So we need a motion to enter into public hearing.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we're going to go into this at 5:10. So are there any public comments in regards to this?
I had a public comment. And it's a brief comment, too. Paul Martinez.
Step to the mic and then we'll pick your name up on the...
I'm Paul Martinez, owner of that property that's adjacent to the courthouse, now the old courthouse. I own Family Dental Center. Okay. And over the years, prior to the courthouse being built, we've had, or after the courthouse being built, we've had a few issues. I'd like to bring those to the attention of the commissioners at this time. Concerning the exchange of properties between Southeast Health Department and Carbon County particularly that property known as the old 7th District Courthouse. Adjacent to the courthouse is the Martinez property, which has been infringed upon intermittently since the construction of said courthouse. This infringement is prohibited by Price City Land Use and Development Code 16.22, maximum height of fences, walls, and hedges, 17.13.2, grading and drainage, and 28, public way. I would encourage both the Health Department and Carbon County to address these issues prior to sale, transfer, and/or occupancy by the Health Department. The modifications requested are simple. I just want that fence separating the Martinez property and the county property either removed or brought into compliance. The drainage of the courthouse property on its west side needs to be modified in a way as to avoid the Martinez property. The sidewalk on the property now serving as a detective building should really be repaired and/or replaced.
The sidewalk on the street?
On the street, yeah.
On the street.
There's always been an issue between the city and the county over who actually is supposed to maintain that right-of-way.
Okay.
According to the city, the property owner is. And when we have floods, my basement floods, and so one time I took and tore out the sidewalk adjacent to my building, and then we replaced it in order to alleviate that flooding, which mostly it did, but there is about 10% of the water that still comes through the broken sidewalk that's just adjacent to my dental building.
Okay, I'll have to go look at it. I'm not familiar with that part of it, but...
It's where the detectives are now.
Okay.
It needs to be modified. I think it's probably not safe for the public. It's been broken and
Okay.
wedged up, and so the issue on the drainage, I got sued here about 15 years ago. Person going to the courthouse fell, hurt her knee, cost me about $5,500 just to get out of the suit, which was better than going to court. So I fixed the access so people didn't have access to the courthouse. But it never did stop the drainage from coming onto my property and creating that sheet of ice. That's all I asked it be done. Money was appropriated for this project, by the way, through the building of your new courthouse. But somehow it must have been overlooked, or you may have had cost overruns, and so that money was never used in order to do these repairs. Anyway, has to be worked out, I guess, between the buyer and the seller. At least it's brought to the light of the county commissioners. Questions?
I don't. We were out there just yesterday looking
Yes, I appreciate
at some
that,
of these
too.
issues. So.
Come down quick. Okay.
Yeah, I think they can be resolved.
Okay, good, good. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioners, my name is Braden Bradford. I'm the Director of the Health Department. As you know, we have grown quite a bit over the last 2 years to the point where we're no longer containing our own workforce, and we have the very real possibility of continuing to grow as we expand the programs and services we offer. So we had explored different options for a new building or a remodel. And I appreciate, as we have spoken with the commissioners, the idea that's come forth, that should this go through, that we would have the opportunity to remodel that building, have enough space to house not only the programs we have now, but the ones we're looking at within the next year to 2 years, including direct services here and agreements with state agencies that may move down and be in close connection with us. I believe this is a very good way to conserve resources, and that's something that we've talked not only with Commissioner Jensen about as he serves on our Board of Health, but the rest of the Board of Health, and they have given their approval for this transaction to take place should the commissioners agree to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Brady?
I have none.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I might just add while we're at this point is that most counties in the state provide a building for the health department in their counties. Is there 2 that don't, Brady?
Yeah, there are 2 that don't, and they're similar arrangements that we have with our counties, and the health departments own those buildings in those separate counties.
So
and they're multi-county health departments.
Okay, so there's an obligation on the part of the counties to help provide some space for them. So in an attempt to try to help there and keep the cost of a new building down, this is an option. So the idea here is that the health department would remodel the old 7th District Court building, and also potentially remodel the old planning and zoning building, or where the detectives now are. And the county would trade them for the building they presently are in across the street to the west in a land exchange.
I guess I would just add, we always strive to be good neighbors.
Yeah, so maybe they'll be better neighbors than we've been, Paul. Okay, any other public questions or comments?
I have no questions.
I should point out that I am really in favor of this project. I see it as a win-win both for the county, the city, and the health department. So my little issues aren't that big compared to the grand scheme of things.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Paul. I'll entertain the motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Seconded.
Public hearing is, well, it's all in favor.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So we'll come out of the public hearing at 5:18. The next item is a consideration and possible approval of exchange of the old 7th District Court building located at 149 East, 100 South, Price, Utah, with the building owned by Southeast Utah Health Department located at 28 South, 100 East in Price, Utah. And I think we've got to add that old, the old planning, zoning, or detective building to that motion.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the exchange of the old 7th District Court building located at 149 East, 100 South, Price, and the detectives building with building owned by the Southeast Utah Health Department located at 28 South, 100 East, Price, Utah.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Go find your money, Brady.
We got some of it. We'll keep looking.
Okay. This will be a good thing for the county and especially the employees of the health department and all the public who need to access that building. It'll make it much more convenient and a little safer to get in and out. Thank you.
And to Dr. Martinez as well, we will address your issues. Thank you for raising those, and we'll make sure that those are addressed.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any department?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.